So someone requested that I do a tutorial covering some basic 3-ball starts and finishes. So I'll begin with the starting moves. The most basic one I can think of is the 3-ball cascade. 3-ball flash, that is. Just throw up all 3 cascade throws higher than usual, so they all leave your hands at the same time, and then go into your routine. It's a nice way to start. All the other ones I'm going to talk about involve some kind of multiplex throws. That's when you throw more than one from the same hand. I'll start out with 2-ball multiplex throws. You have behind the back. And the thing you notice there is if you hold both of them towards the tips of your fingers, so they're the same distance from your elbow, they'll tend to go at the same height and kind of come over your shoulder at the same level. And if you hold them in front of each other, the one that's further out, when you swing, will get more energy, and you'll end up with kind of a staggered effect like that. So you can play around with that if you want. You can also throw up all 3 at the same time, 2 from your right hand. Go like that. It makes kind of a staggered line. And if you want to make that look fancier, you can try to go around, swing through, and start like that. It's a little bit harder to aim. If you're having trouble making them go through each other, you should hold the ball in your left hand about the center of your palm, like here. And these 2, just comfortably 2 in one hand. And if you throw them up next to each other, if you make the same movement with your hands, they should kind of naturally stagger themselves. And you can practice this and make sure that the center ball isn't close enough to either of the right hand balls to touch. Just going straight up and down. And then eventually just cross over. They should fit through neatly. And as they cross over, you're going to take your left hand and grab the bottom ball from your right hand, toss it up quickly, and then catch the second one. I think that's a nice little start. That's all I can really think of for 2-ball multiplexes. The other ones are all 3-ball multiplexes. Now, the general stance here, hopefully you can see this, is you hold these 2, you can put your middle finger between them if you want, towards the tip of your fingers, like you would in an equal level backhand, and you put the third one between them on your palm. It should be fairly comfortable. You should be able to hold it pretty well. That's what it should look like. When you throw this, because these 2 are farther away in the same distance, they should rise higher than the bottom one and stay about the same level, like that. So after you've thrown them, you're going to take one of your hands and claw this bottom ball, and then throw it back up between or around the other 2, and catch one of the other 2 in each hand. You can make lots of variations with which hand catches it and where it goes, whatever you'd like. Some nice variations on that same starting configuration are throwing all 3 of them behind your back. It's very hard with these stage balls for me. I don't practice it very much, but that's what it should look like. You basically just scoop them all, bend around, and chuck them all right underneath your left armpit, and they should make the same staggered position, so you should be able to grab the bottom one with your left hand and come into a cascade. It's not that hard, I'm just bad at it. You can, I think, make all 3 go behind your back, but I haven't really tried that, so I'm not going to break my ceiling fan over it. But that's another theoretical thing to do. Under your leg, obviously. It's not that hard to do. Just be creative, throw them from random places. The other starting configuration is all 3 in the same hand lined up. So you're going to kind of be resting the last one on your index and middle fingers, holding the second one, and the third one is kind of precariously balanced along your wrist. I know it can fall off easily, but just balance it for a couple seconds. You should make a straight line, and as you throw it up, also make a straight line. The way to catch these after you've thrown them is like that. You'll notice it leads into a reverse cascade, because that's just the easiest way to go about coming out of that. The bottom one, the lowest one you throw, is going to be this one, and you're going to want to claw that one with your right hand. The next one's going to be clawed with your left hand, and that'll leave you with the third one just up there kind of hanging. And at that point, you're going to want to take your right hand one that you clawed the first one, come around and throw it towards the outside, and as you come back, catch the top one. Your left hand's also going to do a reverse throw after that. And this that leads into a nice reverse cascade. Also go into a multi-mess or whatever you'd like. Some really cool variations on that one is you can take the top one and catch it in a penguin in your right hand. Like that. And that makes some interesting looks to it too. I should also mention that this straight 3-ball configuration lends itself very nicely to a 4-ball start. If you can manage to balance the 4th one, very barely stable there on the tip of your arm. What you do is to again catch the first 2 balls as claws, so it's right hand claw, left hand claw after that, kind of like climbing a ladder. And you throw both of those towards the outside and catch the second 2 coming down, and that'll lead you into a reverse 4-ball cascade. Let's see if I can pull one off without sliding. That's what it looks like. It's kind of difficult to do, but it seems to work pretty cool. That leads us into the 3-ball collections, which is when you collect all of them and finish up your routine. This mostly involves catching all 3 of them in one hand, because that gives you kind of an air of finality, I guess. The 3-ball finishes that I use most commonly, just kind of naturally in my routines, are this one, and this one. And that first one is kind of a windy one, I guess. I don't really know how else to describe it. And the way you start off is you take your right hand, when you're in the middle of a pattern, and you just reach up and grab one of the balls in your first 3 fingers, and start that spin move. So, for example, I go like this. I would kind of grab it and sweep underneath the next ball. Now that I have those extra fingers free, I can sweep around and collect the second one here. So, you'll notice I do an extra throw on that. I don't grab the next one that was coming to my right hand. I take my left hand and go into kind of this move for a second to compensate. And I catch the second one that my left hand throws. So that makes 2 spins with my right hand, catch the first one, catch the second one, and then I just toss up this one and catch the third one between these 2 in that last position. Wind, wind, wind. Hopefully that's a good explanation. I don't know why I find that hard to explain for some reason. The other one is kind of similar. You hang on to one of the balls that's in your right hand with the first 3 fingers, so you just kind of wait to catch it, and you sweep over to catch the next ball coming to your right hand in these 3 fingers, like this. That ends up in a cross-round position. You just kind of pop up the other one and catch it in that last spot. So there you go. I think the first one looks the best. It feels the most fancy, just 3 winds of your right hand. It's very easy to modify either of those patterns to include more fancy catches. For example, behind the backs, you can do penguins with that one. That one lends itself easily to penguins because as you sweep over the pattern and end up in that crossed arm position, you can come back across for a penguin. It's a little bit harder to do this one as a penguin because you have to kind of switch directions. You're going around this way and then you've got to come back like an S shape, but that's also feasible if you want to try that. If you really feel like pushing it, you can probably fit a spin into there. Like that, theoretically. Just a lot of stuff involving the last ball, basically, and different ways to catch that one. What might be a more basic ending move to the 3-ball routine is just to basically stop moving your right hand and collect in this position again all the balls. Like that. It's pretty easy. One of the most difficult 3-ball finishes I'm aware of, I've kind of invented it myself, it's based off of this one, except instead of doing that all out of a cascade, you do that out of a flash. So you throw all 3 balls up, and then collect them all in your right hand using the spin, spin, catch the third one technique. Like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That looks pretty cool. It's just the same exact moves as this one, of course, but much faster. You can practice this just by throwing up all 3 of the balls from the same hand and trying to catch them all in the same hand. It's a very good practice when you're starting out juggling, just to improve your general dexterity. I still can't do it with my left hand regularly, especially not with stage balls. But, a random side note, one of my favorite ways to end an actual routine is to do a neck catch and end up kind of in a bowed down position. Just toss one up higher, duck under it, and you end up nicely down, pop it back up, collect, and you're done. The way you do that, if you don't know how to do a neck catch, you're going to throw it up slightly above the level of your head, looking at it the whole time. This is very important for some reason. You're going to watch it, and as it starts to come down, you're going to watch it and duck under it the last minute. And this should bring the nape of your neck, which is the part right here, in contact with the ball. You want to have your shoulders kind of in to make a little dimple, and you want to be able to catch it right there. So you're going to watch it come up and duck under it. It takes a lot of practice, and it's kind of hard to come out of. But theoretically, you just kind of roll your shoulders, dip your head, and come up, and it should pop out nicely. Alright. It's hard with these stage balls. That's basically it for starts and finishes. Just some general tips. Explore them, see what you like to do. Do whatever comes naturally, and hopefully you'll end up with something that looks kind of cool.